Hello and welcome back. I am so excited to have you back in this space, and this is because I know that if you're here now, you have made a huge decision. You are going to stop trading your time for money, and you are going to structure that business that's going to make you feel like you will not be working a single day, and yet you will be making serious money. And mostly more important, you are going to be fulfilled. So what is this one tool that we are going to learn today that is going to be absolutely necessary in the course of your business? Now, I don't want to put a damper on your enthusiasm, but I can tell you that most new businesses will fail. They are doomed to fail in the first 5 years unless you use this tool. And this tool is really important. What is this famous tool? This tool is momentum. Momentum is like a wheel when it starts turning. It takes the first revolution, and unless it has the energy to go into the second revolution and then start picking up speed, and then it gains so much momentum that it's going to carry the engine forward, you will not be able to go through those hard times that you will invariably have. You will have downtime, you will not be feeling well, your morale will not be feeling that good, and you will come across stumbling blocks and roadblocks which will really pull you down. So if you use this one tool that I'm going to teach you today, and this is where you should be marking the scores, because it is absolutely here and in this moment that you need to refer back whenever you're a little bit down, your physiology is not the right way as it should be, where you need to stoke up that energy, stoke up that fire, stoke up that enthusiasm in order to help you to plod on. So first and foremost, one very important thing, we always overestimate what we can do in a year, and we underestimate what we do in 5 years. So what is your energy level at this point? Is it at a point where we're very excited? And I hope we are, because we're starting a new business, we're starting a career, we're starting to have the energy and the fire to go to our bosses and to tell them, listen, I deserve to be in a better space. Where is it that you are? If you're stoked with enthusiasm, it means you have some fuel to your engine. But you could be, a little bit already flowing, moving on, and you still have fuel in your engine, but you're coming across a lot of roadblocks. Or worse still, you're really low on your fuel and you're about to give up. What is it that you need in order to make you go forward and keep on plodding so that you will be able to arrive at your goal? If you are in Kaizen, you are like not even started, you're thinking about starting the business still, even though you're at this point in time in the course, you are thinking of doing that side hustle, you're thinking of taking your career to the next level, but for some reason, you keep postponing your decision indefinitely, we need to put some fuel in that engine, right? So all challenge, and this is the tool I'm going to teach you today, starts with momentum. All change starts with momentum. When we start gaining momentum, we start gaining the energy. Momentum can be compared, like I told you, to this wheel, and we need to get our wheels spinning really fast. So I want you to visualize something. I want you to close your eyes and imagine what in your best imagination, with no problems, with no hiccups, with no COVID stuff that we've been going through in this past year now practically. Imagine there are no setbacks, no limits, everything goes your way. And imagine what would be the best possible scenario for your ideal business, for your ideal life. And write that down. You have to write it down, because if you don't write it down, it doesn't become real. So Just close your eyes and think, what is it that in my wildest imagination, I would want my life to be this time in a year's time? And that is really what we're going to be focusing on. And that is going to be the ultimate goal that we are going to be looking at in a year's time, but we're going to literally break it down in 365 days so that it makes it chewable. If you're going to eat an elephant, you're going to have to eat it a bite at a time. If you're going to run the 10,000-mile marathon, you're going to have to run it one step at a time. And this is the point, and this is the tool that I will be teaching you today, and that is how you're going to gain your momentum. In order to gain your momentum, you have to start with the first MO. We're going to do 3 MOs today. Momentum is, the one of the most important things. But in order to gain momentum, the first thing you're going to need to do is to build your morale. What I am going to teach you in this session is how to protect your confidence. This is really important. So, what is it? How are we going to build our momentum? And what is it that is going to take us to do or not do in order to build our morale? So the first thing I want you to do is, I want you to dedicate some time, pause this video if you have to pause this video, and take some time and write down all the stuff that you managed to do in the past year which has given you something to be proud of, something that has given you satisfaction. Don't think about the bad stuff. The bad stuff, we've all been there, we've all messed up, we've all had our moments when, we haven't performed well. But I want you only to be thinking of the good stuff that's happened in your life in the past year that you've managed to achieve, that stuff that has taken you out of your comfort zone, even if it's just a small thing, even if it's just cooking your first dish, whatever it is that you've managed to achieve over the past year, maybe even over more years, that make you proud of yourself. And I want you to write them down, one right after the other, because these are the things that you're going to look back at to give you the fuel to be able to go and propel yourself into the future. Are we good here? So take the time you need, pause this video if you have to, and start writing the first thing down. The first thing will bring your second thing and the third thing. And the more you think about it, the more you realize that you've been really underestimating yourself, because you are an achiever and you have already managed to do so much. So write that down and come back. So if you're back now, you have a list of your achievements. And now I want you to think of the stuff that actually robs you of your morale. And I want you to start doing your not to do list. And the first thing that you have to do, that you have to think about, is think about that stuff, that the outside energy that robs you of your confidence, that really puts you down. I would say, first off, I would go on a news diet. No, I'm serious. I don't watch the news. Doesn't mean I don't know what's happening in the world, because the world always, by secondary manner, tertiary manner, there is always some way in which the world lets me know what is happening from my friends, from my family, from something that really pops up. But I always go on a news diet, because the news is made in a perverse way to bring you only bad news. And the reason it's fashioned this way is because, as I said before, it's almost perverse, because when we watch other people's misery, although we're not really consciously thinking about it, we're actually feeling better about ourselves, because we're not in such a bad state. But when it is rubbing onto you on a daily basis, it really puts you down. I mean, seriously, answer this question to yourself. When was the last time that you watched the news and you went, "Hoo yay! I have had so much fun watching this episode"? No, that doesn't happen. So if it doesn't serve you, just remove it as the outside influence. Try a 7-day news diet and see how you'll feel. The second thing is, don't get qualified advice from unqualified people. What do I mean here? If your family have always been bogged down in a job which is safe and are telling you you have to be out of your mind to be even thinking of venturing on your own, just look at their life. They're good people, they're people who care for you, but it's unqualified advice. If you have to give an example, a single friend who's giving you advice because your relationship is breaking up, do you think that that is qualified advice? I'm not sure. If you're asking your broke friend how you're going to manage your money, is that qualified advice? I definitely don't think so. So make sure you get qualified advice from qualified people and not from unqualified people. If you hear the same thing too often, that automatically means that some of it is going to rub off, and it's going to rub off your off and take away your confidence. And that's what we don't want at this point. We need to keep our confidence in full volume, in 100% mode, if we are going to be able to build that energy and that momentum in order to be able to take us on to our future. And this is the future that is undisputed what we want in our life. So this is really important. And finally, very, very important, we have to deal with the imposter syndrome. Now, this is the most difficult one to do. We all have voices in our head. It's those little gremlins that keep pecking away, like they're pecking away on concrete, except sometimes the concrete really breaks and the woodpecker really goes into the wood and into our souls. And this is the voices in our heads, which tell us we're not good enough. It's our inner villains. So we need to avoid situations which are coming from outside that limit our beliefs. But we also need to deal with what's inside us that limits our beliefs. So I'll have to tell you a little story about myself, because most of you will not know me. I had an 8-year career. I think this must have already featured somewhere in this training. An 8-year career working in corporate life and studying finance, working at a bank. And just 1 year after I finished my finance degree, I decided to leave. I decided to be true to my soul, and I wanted to create my own business, my own thing, and which had nothing to do with the corporate world I was living in. I was not happy wearing the high heels all the time, wearing the business suit, and being addressed to by my superiors. It was just not me. I wanted to break free. But when I told my family and my friends that I made the decision to leave, and this happened after a massive argument I had with one of my bosses, with one of my superiors, everyone said, you are out of your mind. What's wrong with you? And everyone was saying, what is it that is so wrong with you? I will also be posting a video which is absolutely impactful, which is by Prince EA. And the question he asked is this: which is the richest place on earth? And you won't think of the answer before you watch the video. I want you to watch the video and then we'll get back to it. And it's shocking. I don't want any one of you to be in a situation where your inner villains are invoked instead of your inner heroes. Your inner hero is what will give you the belief that will liberate you, and that will give you the passion to keep going into what it is that you deserve to have for your life. But if we're going to let those little gremlins that keep telling us you're not good enough, you're a fake, you don't even know what you're in for, you're not qualified to be doing this, Qualifications are for papers on the walls. It's life that makes you qualified to be doing what you believe and what you want to do. So there is one thing I just want to say before I close on this. Ellen Keller, and this features in the video which I will post right now, said, being born with no sight is not the worst thing that can happen to you. The worst thing that can happen to you is being born with no vision. And this is really, really huge.
I don't care who you are, what race, what age, what gender. I don't care about any of that stuff. But what I do know is that you have a dream inside of you. And that dream you have kept hidden from the world. You've made excuses for it. You've delayed it. You've listened to people telling you to be realistic. But deep down in your heart, you know that you're not living to your potential. And life is now something you're just getting on with. I want to lay some reality on you real quick. Where is the wealthiest place in the world? Do you know? It's not China. It's not Dubai. It's the graveyard. Because in the graveyard, you will find inventions never invented, businesses never erected, songs never sung, books never written, ideas never nurtured, people never realized. Because they were scared to take a risk. Scared like you. But you want to know something else? You're not in a graveyard yet. And we get one life, right? And every passing moment, we would never get back again. You would never start this video with the same perspective you had when you click play. You would never brush your teeth the same way twice in your life. There ain't no rewind button on life. I will never get that breath back ever again. See, this present moment is so precious. We have to be here. We have to be in it and make the most of it. We have to live our dreams now because they are possible. 6,000 years ago, man created the wheel. Only 6,000 years ago. First written language was created. That's it. And if I may remind you, the airplane is only a little over 100 years old. There was no internet 50 years ago. No cell phone. So don't sit here and tell me that everything that can be done has been done when we haven't been here for very long. There are dreams, there are ideas and accomplishments that are waiting to be discovered, that are waiting for you. Helen Keller was once asked, what on earth will be worse than being born blind? She said, it will be so much worse to be born with sight, but no vision. Why can't we have cures for every disease known to man? Why can't we have clean water, food, education for every person on this planet? Why can't we have peace on this planet? Why do we have to die to go to heaven? The earth is already in space. We can have heaven right here, right now. Just a shift in this. Why not? Because somebody said it's impossible. It can't be done. I'll tell you this, there's never been a statue erected for a critic. Everybody tell you how to do it, they never did it. Moral of the story is, do you, be you, and be here now. Your dreams are possible. Stop obsessing over these celebrities, Kim Kardashian. Live your life. Step into your greatness. They say the average person dies at 25, but is buried at 75. You know what that means? Unless you figure it out. Don't let this negative world get to you. Don't let it win. Do not go where the path may lead, but go where there is no path.
How did that video feel? I'm telling you, it made such a huge impact on me. The only takes that I can add on to that, because I don't think I need to add much, is 1, don't play small. 2, to know that you are more than good enough is good enough. And to know that you are special is a fact. And we can keep going. And my last piece of advice on how you should be building your morale is work on the stuff that you're good at. Work on the stuff that gives you enthusiasm. Work on the stuff that makes you move your needle. Don't work on the stuff that you can't understand. If you are an artist, you should be painting beautiful art. You should not be thinking on how you're going to put your accounts together. Give that to someone who is a professional in his sphere. If you're an accountant, you should go to the artist to put the paintings on your wall. You don't put your ledgers on the wall. You get my drift? Don't try, to focus on your weaknesses. Because your weaknesses, you're always going to be able to look for someone who will help you to solve them, to sort them out. But cultivate whatever it is you're good at. Become enthusiastic about what you're good at. Become impassioned about what you're good at. And then you turn your passion into your livelihood. And that is the only way you will actually find fulfillment in your life. This is exactly what happened to me. I was a fake. 8 years I spent in corporate world. Every single day I hated it. I wasn't living my dream. I lived my parents' dream that I would, get a good job, do the corporate world, get my degrees, whatever it was that they were expecting from me. But I was unhappy for most of my time in the corporate world. When I left and started putting my furniture store together, which was my first business, getting my hands messy, I made a message from my messy hands. I had this message of you could have an amazing home with stuff that wasn't super expensive. It was just my imagination. Then I spent the next 20 years changing my mess into my message, and it turned into a multi-million business. Why was that? Because I was passionate about what I was doing. Because I turned my passion into my message. I became a professional in my passion. And I can assure you, for 20 years, running, one day after another, there was not one single day that I woke up and said, I don't feel like going to work. Because it never felt like work. It felt like the most awesome thing on earth for me to do. So this is how you build your morale. This is how you perfect your passion. And this is how you kill the gremlins in your head. The ammunition we need to propel us in the future. This is the courage that will happen to you, and this is where you start seeing results. The second one, and this will be much shorter, is the momentum. It's the second MO, and we're already very clear. This is the present. This is when we start moving. This is when we start picking our needle and see where it was. We need to propel it to take us. But this is where we need to start picking up some speed. So we've already built the morale. We've built the confidence. What is the thing, the one thing that you really enjoy doing in the present? This is your passion. We've already spoken about the passion. What is the thing that actually brightens up your life? What is it? What is the fire that with the next match will light up your world? So, if you have a great idea that you're already working on, you know that this is going to be what you need to give you your breakthrough. Even if it's going to be hard work. You have to be so much in passion with whatever you want to do, which is your why, that whatever stumbling blocks we're going to find along the next 365 days, they are not going to be blockers. They are going to be door openers. We might need to find the small hinges that will open the big door. We might need to navigate those, but we are going to open that door. So whatever it is that moves your needles, there has to be one single thing that stokes up the coals and helps you build up your fire, something that will really light you up, something that puts you in a state of excitement. Might be a new relationship, might be a new side hustle, might be a new job, might be perfecting your career, might be reading a new book, but whatever it is, you need to take it, because this is where you're going to build your fire. Is there just one single thing that gets you super excited and that can impact your future? Are you working, for example, with a new client that will give you more revenue? Are you looking at a different marketing strategy that can boost your sales? Are you cooking that special meal that's going to stoke up your relationship? Are you doing something right now that will improve your future? And that one thing is the first step that we are going to take and to build on in order to start gaining this momentum. We have to stop living life in hypnosis. Stop doing the same thing over and over again. Stop doing the busy work that just numbs your life. You need to wake up to your passions. Otherwise, you will not gain the momentum. Wake up today. Wake up to your relationships. Wake up to your family. Wake up with fresh, positive eyes. Enthusiasm is like an infection. It really spreads fast. But so does negative energy. And it's like bad news. And it spreads even faster. So you have to be conscious to ignite your enthusiasm and kill the negative energy. You have to be conscious of it. Whatever it is you're doing in your present that doesn't light up that match that will give you the fire, you need to remove. Infuse your life with enthusiasm. Because if you're going to keep saying, I will change my job someday, I will ask for that promotion one day, I will learn to improve my skills starting from tomorrow, I will stoke up the love in my relationship, the love for my work soon, that someday will turn today into tomorrow. Tomorrow will turn into next week, which will turn into next month, and soon. The 365 days, we have absolutely underestimated how quickly they can come upon us. So the momentum, the confidence of whatever it is that you're doing right now to build the fire, to elevate you to your next level, needs the fuel, and it needs your conscious contribution every single day. And the very last MO is, and it's the last tool, it's your motivation. How do you see yourself bigger and better? I want you to consciously see yourself at this moment. Pull your shoulders up, put your chin up, feel the enthusiasm, and see how when you actually take a good breath and you look up, you are suddenly looking up at wherever it is you want to arrive. You need to elevate yourself. You need to build up the state of enthusiasm that's going to take you up there. What is it that you desire so much that you see yourself doing in a year's time that will give you so much satisfaction? That you will make the time for it, that you will give up other stuff that you can do without in your life, so that you pull up that space and you will be able to get there. And that when you come across a hurdle, you will unravel it so that you can reach the next hurdle. The satisfaction of having solved one problem will only give you so much strength in order to be able to get yourself to the next level. What is it that excites you enough to push forward that you will actually take the steps to change it? What is that one step right now that's going to take you closer to your dream? I'm not asking what you should do. We all know what we should do. We shouldn't eat more sugar. We shouldn't eat more carbs. We should be drinking less. We should be exercising more. But I don't want you to wait for that aha moment in your life, or a crisis that will push you in a corner that will have to make you make a decision. I want this to be an excited, conscious decision of what it is that you're doing right now that you think this is what is going to take me into my future. What is this thing that you want so badly that nothing is going to stand in your way, and you will go for it? It's one thing that will make you live your full potential. And you know, life of course does throw us a lot of hurdles, and life, you know, will contrive to make us not have what we really want. But it is us who actually dictates life. If you really want something badly, you will see that the universe will actually contrive to make you, when your physiognomy, when your ideas, when you talk enough about it, you will start seeing that there things will start coming back to you. It's like if you hold your focus on that one huge thing that you want so badly, it's like the universe will start coming your way. You will start finding more people talking about this thing. You will start seeing that there is more education coming your way, that people are starting to ask you about this thing. Remember that energy and enthusiasm is not something you're born with. It's something that you create. And it's true, you can't live on adrenaline all the time, but you can definitely train yourself to build up your enthusiasm so that when the hurdles come your way, when you hit those hurdles, you will be able to face your adversity. Let me tell you, one question you need to ask yourself: how would you prefer to live your life? Do you want to live it in the state of one day takes you into a flow of another? And if that's what you want, that's fine. Then honestly, you really didn't need this course. But some people actually are happy to go from one day to another until they get to an expiry date. These are the people that die at 25 and get buried at 80. But if you're not dying at 25, and you want to live to your full fulfillment up to the 80, then you need to light up your life. You need to gain the momentum. You need to really build your morale and your state of enthusiasm and your excited state of living and your belief that whatever comes your way is going to be solvable. Everything is figure-outable. That's from my mentor, Marie Forleo. Everything is figure-outable. The only thing that's not figure-outable in life is your last breath. Otherwise, everything is figure-outable. So, remember the 3 MOs. These were the tools in this session today. Build your morale, which will help you build your momentum and which will give you the motivation to arrive at your goal. I'll see you in the next session.